Depop here, coming into you right hot and right at it. Reason for a lot of this is because, you know what, when it goes, you gotta go. Now, this is basically going to be out and dedicated to a few people of mine that I know, friends of mine. One that I'm incredibly proud of for taking the step that they have on basically embracing their fear and moving forward. Another one that also gave me the feedback on this to remind myself that what I'm doing means something and the reason why I need to keep doing so. With that being said, there's a couple of things that we all have in common. Doesn't matter who you are. Rich, poor, famous, not, doesn't matter. Number one, we all get 24 hours in a day. 24. We're all granted that same amount of time. What we do at that time is all completely up to us. And what we decide to is going to outcome the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Another one is, truth like rain don't give a shit who it falls on. It doesn't. In the end, everything that we do, the truth will come out. Now, being said with that, we're all loaded. We've got this pack on our backs. And if you're staring at the cliff and you don't want to take that jump, then you're going to stare at the same scenery over and over and over. You got to find what's defined in you, what is deep inside of you, what you want. If it scares you, then most likely it's meant for you to do. That step you have to take. Until I took that step, I was nothing but a depressed shut-in. Now, a lot of may joke even now to a degree, but I do. There's, part of me that still does. Everybody's going to do it, and you're going to continue to do it. That's all right. It's what we're going to do after it that defines us. What are you going to find deep inside of you that's going to basically drive you to that next level? If it's worth something to you, if it's deep inside, you have to fight for it. You don't fight for it, you can't expect it. That's your own failure. We have to own up to our own failures. Those failures, though, you got to define as, is it a slip or a fall? Because there's a big difference between the two. Don't define me from something that didn't quite work out as a fall. I don't want to be defined that way. I never do. I will, and I'm going to again. Back to that again, life being 10% of what happens to us, 90% of how we react. And depending on how we react is what is going to dictate, again, that following day. As I stated on there. The people I've talked to that I'm dedicating this to as well is because they finally came to that conclusion. They wrapped it around. What I like to call the common denominator, which I'm going to be mentioning in quite a few other ones. It's common denominator, it's balance. We're all trying to find that balance. But finding that balance and taking that next step, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't. That anxiety, that rush, that feeling that's scared in you, are you going to use it? Are you going to take it? Are you going to let it manifest in a good or a bad way? And that's going to define that next step. But it's also there. We have emotions because we're meant to process loss, anger, hate, fear, blessings, love, all of that. There are going to be so many naysayers out there because they want you down at your level. Their level. Sorry. They want you down at their level. If they want you down at their level and you're not comfortable with that, isn't that maybe just a little bit of a sign? Maybe just a little? The reason why I get so passionate about a lot of this too is until I made that realization and I pushed myself out of my shell, out of this held up box that I kept myself in. That, as NF would say on his song Mansions, that it's my head. And you, all over the walls, you would see just stuff that would just blow you away. And yes, many times over, I should be a dead man. I should even be back in, well, from where I'm from, just living day to day. Just as an expected farm boy is supposed to be doing in a way. But I'm not. Until I took that jump, and I can't even believe it. A year later, everything, the last couple of months even, I didn't expect any of this. I was hoping XYZ may happen, but it did. In just over a year. How do you expect to get anywhere on that if you don't push? You gotta take that. There's somebody that you gotta take those, or take those that say you can't do it, and flip it and say, well, thank you for giving me the reason why I need to, or why I'm going to. This stuff here, these videos, the stuff I'm trying to accomplish, even becoming, hopefully a published tattoo model, even just once, from shoots. Laugh it up. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Because that gives me these fuel, this random fire. I'm fighting through it too. I still fight through that depression. I still fight through that, why, Lord, why? And why is it though that we only ask, why God me? Why God me? When we're down in those areas, when we're buried under that. And we pray when we got something to pray for. No matter your beliefs, anything like that. Everything also comes down to faith. I think we could all agree on the fact that if you're not moving, you definitely aren't going to know what the next step is. My definition of it is right across my chest. Moving without knowing. Because in order for us to reach that next step, those next potentials, just like I was talking about, this is to a friend of mine that I dedicate this to, who I'm very, very proud of. And another friend of mine who said they were not going to give up. Who actually said to me, and actually brought up to me why I hadn't done another one like this or any other video, because they actually listened to it, and it just, again, was just a mind shot, just an explosion. But not in a bad way, in a good way. Yeah, I want to reach more, but I mean, right then and there. I mean, just those two right there. I want to see the hero in them come out, because I know they've got it. You all have it. Everybody does. We're all blessed with the same thing. It doesn't matter what it is. There's pros and cons to every part of our lives. But you can sit in the comfort zone from what you know. Pro. You know what? You wake up, that's what that day is going to be like. You're comfortable with it. Okay. Con is when you push yourself out of that, you're afraid. You're going to be fear. You're going to have fear grip you, anxiety grip you, everything like that. And it does to me almost on a daily basis. But that's my telltale sign that something I'm obviously doing is right, or it's on track to a degree. I mean, they bring these energy drainers, and I write on these as much as I can, but you know what, honestly, it's just a shot from the Chrome Dome to a degree, and it's got to be from the heart. If it's not in the heart, what's the purpose? And that's the way even to every day. I pray and I hope, and I can't express enough for the people too that are in my life that have done. And I'll tell you the other things too. I've seen change in myself. I'm waking up even though I don't want to. There's this part of my brain that doesn't want to. The other part of me is saying, hey, get your ass up. You came this far. You want to just piss it down your leg, or do you want to drop it? You've come so far in life. You have to go back and review it. Sometimes you just need to take a step back. Another friend of mine told me it makes sense. Take 15 minutes out of your day and to just reflect or meditate. If you can't, then you take a half hour. Makes pretty good sense to me. But again, it doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is the count. That matters is how many times you get back up. You don't get back up, lay there. Get stepped on. Get walked on. Lay there. I'm trying to bring this passion. This is how bad I feel for people. And at the same time, I mean, this is the same stuff I go through. It's not that. I want to express that over and over, that it's not something that is particular to one person. What's particular to one person is that we are all individuals. We all have our own strengths, we have our own weaknesses, but everything we bring to the table is one that just is going to either make or break. I'm trying my damnedest to prove to others too that I want to earn my place. I'm not trying to weasel or anything like that. But I fight with that because I'm very intense on some of this, and when I go all in. That's also part of my downfall, and I'll admit that as well. Doing so, I devote so much of my time, my energy, my heart, my emotions, everything, and a lot of times it makes things worse than what they really are. It's that dialectic, going back and forth. Your head telling you one thing when in all actuality, the truth is that it's not the case. And again, truth, like rain, don't give a shit who it falls on. It does not matter a bit. It will come through. So again, that anxiety I had a huge depression that I didn't think, I can't even remember how bad it was before that, when I had to take this push. But it was also that time that my perseverance was being tested. Until I started even doing these and writing and going back, I've been able to reflect on so much more, going, wow, I actually did that. And you even look back at the matter of time it's done and what it's done for you. So, again, it's your call, it's your decision. You have to be your own hero. You have to find it within yourself. How important is something to you? Because if it's not worth fighting for, it apparently isn't that important. And you have nobody to blame but yourself. You just do. Because again, if you fight for it and you fail, Bruce Lee had one, and he goes, I do not fear a man that has mastered 1,000 kicks, but has mastered one kick 1,000 times. That's who he basically stated. That's what his fear was. That man. You want to be that man? You want to be that woman? Do it. Do it. I have faith in you. Keep the faith. Do what you need to on there. And just take it. Own it. Run with it. And the only thing that's going to come from it is a learning experience to either keep on or change up. To anybody and everybody that's watching this, thank you so much for the love. It's meant a lot to me. And that's why I need to continue on and being passionate about it. But I'm passionate because I want others to see the same things that I've gone through, the stuff that I'm writing about, but just grip it and rip it. Please, grip it and rip it. Own it. Own your life. Own it. Everything, your decisions, everything you make. Because in the end, that's what really matters. You're going to let it be? You're going to let it ride? Or you're going to let it just kind of sit? It's up to you. No one else can make that decision for you but you. That's it. God bless. And I pray that you guys, anybody that sees this, just grab a hold of it. Remember, hit it as hard as you can. Get rid of the naysayers. They want you down to their level. If they want you, they don't like what you're doing. It's probably a pretty good indication that what you're trying to do is going to be better for you. Fight the silence. Fight. Put up a fight. The worst thing you can do is slip. Again. God bless. Love you all. Please. Don't give up. Because I'm not either. Much love.